some of us don't really afford therapy, you know, in as much as we are cuckoos up in here, we don't afford therapy. So the best thing to do is actually go buy books and read them and put yourself through therapy, through reading. And that's what I basically do for myself. Hello, hi, beautiful people. It's your girl Anna, the thick chick with a deep voice, and welcome to my channel. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, and thank you so much for the continuous support you guys always show me. You'll never disappoint, and I really appreciate you guys. And if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to click on that subscribe button for more dope content. Yeah, I think I give good dope content, but that's just me. But anyway, from the title of the video, you can already see that it is a video about how my strict parents affected me as an adult, right? And I know that a lot of us actually kind of relate to this. A lot of us go through these things, and sometimes you're unaware that actually the fact that your parents were strict actually affected you in your adult life. Okay, so choice of beverage today is Oros, of course. I mean, who doesn't love Oros, especially on a sunny day, right? And also, I know I'm not the only one who likes collecting these disposable cups, right? So I feel like in as much as they're disposable, they're very, very, very recyclable, because here I am. It's my cup now. It's actually my favorite cup in the whole house, but it's a favorite cup that I would actually give to a visitor as opposed to me giving them my mother's glasses, you know? But anyway, enough about that. So also let me show you how cool this container is. How cool is this? Right? I think I bought it at Westpac. Yeah, Westpac, for not more than 50 bucks, I think. But anyway, so as you guys know that I like actually writing things down, and because you all know that I use my phone to record, so it kind of forces me to write everything that I want to talk to you guys about in my journal, right? But also it makes me keep track of the things that I like doing, or the things that I want to do, or growth, or whatever. So that's why I always I have a journal. I also had another one, a small one. Let me show you. Okay. So actually, yeah, I have this one. So this one I got as a present from my sister-in-law, because she really knows how much I love journals. And these are actually my initials, BN. So it's quite cute. So I'm that kind of a person. I just diarize everything. I journalize basically everything. My life is just journalized. And also I'm very strong on affirmation. So I have an affirmation wall where if I want something, I'm going to put it up there, and I go through a 30-day trial. But that's not what this video is about today. So let's get into more pressing issues and actually quite talk about how our strict parents actually affected us in our adult lives. You understand what I mean? So as I said, I really want to take you through not a step-by-step, but like I just want to highlight the parts of my adult life that actually they have affected, or they've kind of, at least they didn't really destroy, because I'm a strong character, but not everybody is as strong-willed as the next, you understand? So we don't go through the same experiences the same way. And I felt like I needed to do this video, at least give you something meaningful for a change, as opposed to just telling you about my crazy stories. And I know you love them and you guys support me through it, but I think there are other important things that we can actually talk about. And today it's about strict parents and how they've affected us. So with me, yeah, with me, I'd get people telling me how polite and how humble and how, you know, um, I'm so very humble. Yeah, I am. And I'll tell them that, thank you. It's actually being raised from constant fear of making the next person upset. You understand what I mean? You don't want to get them upset because, I mean, when you have strict parents, it kind of has this thing like over you that you can't really overexpress, or you can't really share much or overshare, or even just talk or communicate, simply because you fear that it might make the next person angry, you know. So immediately when I sense that somebody's gonna get mad, like I cringe and I panic, and my anxiety just kicks in, and I'm just like, yo, no, you can't be mad, dude. What can I do to fix it? You understand what I mean? So I overcompensate myself because of such, because endlini, you're not allowed to make the parents angry. So you always try to be in their good books so that they're not angry. Sometimes you don't get away with it, and when you don't get away with it, that's when you that's when you now know how it feels when your parents are angry, and you don't want to go through that experience. So you try by all means to kind of like stay away from making them mad or making the next person mad, because bakufundisa, that's the only culture you know, so you live by that, so you do the same thing to the next person. So yeah, that kind of really affected me. And the next one is participation. You know, I participated less in the things that I really wanted to because of my fear of failure. My dad was very strict, right? And he, like, you can't fail, basically. You can't fail. Like, what is failure in this house? You understand what I mean? I remember, I think I was in grade 10. Yeah, I was in grade 10. And I sucked at maths. I was really bad. I'm really bad with numbers, right? And it's crazy because I'm bad with numbers, but I was good in EGD. So EGD, it was, is rather, engineering, graphics, and design. And it includes numbers as well. And then there's a civil, which I was really good at also. And it includes a bunch of numbers. So, but it was just mathematics that was a problem. Like, it was just numbers. There's no scenario. So it was really bad for me, you know. And I went to a technical high school. You couldn't do maths lit because we didn't have maths lit. It's a technical high school, so it's mandatory for you to do mathematics. Yeah, it's one of those compulsory subjects like English, language as a whole. So I remember I failed the term. I think it was term 2. Yeah, it was term 2. Report card looked really good, but I flung mathematics. Guys, with me, you know how sometimes the first term is the worst term? I mean, no, the first term is the good term where it's easy, it's flowing, and the second term is like, whoo, really bad. And then the third is like, easy, and then fourth is like, damn. With me, mathematics was the same. First, second, third, fourth, it was the same. I sucked at mathematics. It could be first term and I'd really be bad. And that's what happened. My reality was I was good in other subjects, but sucked at math, and I failed mathematics. So when I remember it was Good Friday. So my dad was a pastor. So I was like, you know what, spirit of Good Friday, I'm not giving him this report card. I will give them after Good Friday because I don't want to let his spirit down. You understand what I mean? And imagine being scared to give your parents a report card because you fear them making them angry because they don't tolerate failure. What is failure? You understand what I mean? So it was really bad because I only gave him my report card when we came back from Good Friday. Yo, guys, like, yeah, that was a horrible Sunday for him. And the fact that he overlooked all the other subjects, because, you know, I got 90s, I had an 80, I had a 70, and I'm just like, yeah, I had a couple of maybe 40s, but whatever. Why are you not acknowledging the other subjects that I did so good in, you know, that I excelled in. And also I feel like he was just too, he forgot quite a lot about my other achievements. You know, like I was good in school, especially primary. I was good in school. There was a time where I got a bursary that funded me until I was in matric, because because of how good I was academically in school. As I was a troublesome kid at school, but luckily some of those things never really got home. But some did, some never did. But it wasn't, according to my family, it wasn't as bad as it was at school. If you understand what I mean. So as I was saying, imagine being so scared to give your parents your report card because you failed, simply because you know that what it's gonna do. Not just to you, not just to them, but to you emotionally, because you know that it's gonna be things that are gonna be said and things that are unnecessary, you know? I feel like you can sit down with somebody and talk to them. But also, I must say this, I don't really blame our parents, my strict parents. Let me just talk about my parents. I don't really blame them, because according to them, it's not, I mean, they were not deliberately making me or deliberately damaging me. According to them, they were building me into being a strong, disciplined woman. You understand what I mean? So it's just that they just went the wrong way about it, in my opinion. I feel like they would have done so much better. And looking at how, or the kind of relationship I have with my niece, who's like a new teenager, they could have done better, man. You know, they could have. But anyway, so I feared participating because I feared failure. I still do. Like, failure is I become physically sick when I think about it. Like, I become, my palms sweat and my armpits itch, and it's that bad. You understand what I mean? Simply because I was never allowed the freedom of expressing myself wholeheartedly and holistically, through all my experiences, also failing, excelling, you know. It was always, you have to excel. So you're basically working under pressure consistently. You're not working because you want to do good. You're working because you fear what might happen should you fail. So that's one thing that kind of affected me also as an adult. So I just tend to not participate and do the things that I really, really, really want to do, simply because of my parents. You understand what I mean? And also standing up for yourself. It has been, first of all, I hate confrontations. I hate confrontations with all my heart. I hate confrontations. I hate. So I'd rather kind of like deal with it. I would not stand up for myself. I'll just deal with you just giving me the BS, because of how much I hated confrontations, and I couldn't stand up for myself because I was never allowed, you know? I was never allowed to express that side of me, and it's foreign. I don't know it. So how can I practice something that I don't know? And how can it come easy if it was never instilled and taught at home? You understand? So it really affected me quite a lot, because I would let a lot of things just slide, simply because I don't want to confront you. Like, I get knots, you understand, in my stomach when I think about it, and I just want to be in a little corner, you understand? So it's hard. It's really hard. If you like, it's really, really hard. You fear making mistakes because you're just like, you know, especially if you're gonna find somebody who's also like, just snaps, you know, you make a mistake, snaps, and you just go back to that thing of, I'm sorry, you know, even when you're not, you shouldn't be sorry, you know, sorry for what, that you made a mistake. I mean, you're a human being, a fully functional human being shouldn't be scared to make mistakes. You're a human being. What else can you do? You understand? You can't just excel. And also through failure, you're able to appreciate the good or appreciate the success and take care of it, because you know how it feels to fail. Not, you understand, like to freely express failure. You understand? So standing up for myself is we're still learning that. It's a big no. Like, it's like, yo, damn, you know, in workspaces, friendships, relationships. I guess that's why I let a lot of things slide. Even when I end it, I will not express how I feel about it, because it was never taught to me, you know. So how can I express myself if I don't even know how to? Like, what is that? You know, it's just so foreign, and it's something that I feel a lot of us go through. You know, we find ourselves tolerating things simply because that's how things were at home, and you find sometimes you don't understand why you're that kind of a person. You wish you could be so confident, you wish you could be so, but it's because at home they limit you, and when you are limited into doing certain things, it affects your confidence. You can't get in a room and just take over, you know. And also when somebody else gets in the room and they take over, you just like, yo, you cringe now. Even when you have great ideas, say you're in a boardroom, you have great ideas and you're bouncing out great ideas, and the confident person just walks in, you become so scared to go forth, because I mean, the confidence was never built, you know. You don't even know what confidence is, you know. You know that there's something that is not going according to, that is not right, but you just like, what could this be? It's because of that. It affects your self-esteem, your confidence, just a lot. You understand what I mean? And those are the things that our parents make us go through. And I think the worst one for me was the decision making, because I was so used to the next person making decisions for me, so comfortable that the next person will make decisions for me. And also, I can't make decisions for myself because my parents are there, you know. And sometimes when I gained the courage to make a decision, I probably cried a little just before I made a decision, you know, because it physically, your anxiety, it attacks your anxiety so much, so hugely, so badly, so, guys, it affects that so much, and your anxiety now just takes over, and you don't know if the decision you're making is good or bad. But that's the thing. You should be able to freely make decisions by yourself, because you were taught at a young age to make your own decisions. But when somebody else consistently makes decisions over your life basically becomes very, very narrow, very, you're not open-minded, because so many of your decisions were made for you. So many of your decisions were questioned, and you doubt yourself so much when you make decisions, and you just like, did I do the right thing? Did I not? You understand? And decisions are not meant to feel like that. It's not about it being right or it being wrong. It's about how it makes you feel when you make that decision. If it makes you feel good that you made it, then that should be enough. You understand what I mean? It shouldn't make sense to the next person. It should make sense to you. And when I find somebody trying to sway me, into making a decision, trying to influence my decision, it breaks my heart, and I want to understand. Like, I want to understand, how are you not understanding a decision that I'm making? You understand what I mean? Like, it affects you also, and in as much as you doubt, when you eventually make the decision, when you eventually gain the courage to make the decision, you don't feel so good about it. Even when it's a good decision for you, you don't feel so good about it because your entire life, your decisions were made for you, and you feel like you probably might have made a bad decision. Whereas it's not a bad decision that you've made. It's a decision you made because of how a situation made you feel. Get what I mean? Also, maybe you just want to move out and go live elsewhere. I see some of my friends do it so freely, do it like, you know, even if it's just my friends but my peers. I see how they're not scared to take on the world. They're not scared to do things because the parents are more understanding. They sit them down, they talk to them, they have that kind of a relationship. They're not so strict, you know, and in as much as I'm grateful, in as much as this kind of really destroyed me as an adult and affected me and as an adult, and also my decision making, I do acknowledge the fact that they were being parents the best way they knew how to be parents. You get what I mean? And if it wasn't for Anazi, Busisiwe wouldn't have survived. Like, Busisiwe wouldn't have survived this. Busisiwe would probably be that scared little girl who just, you know, is bullied. So Anazi has always been a part of me. She just didn't have a name, you know. That's the go-to person. That's my safe person. A person who's a bad bee and who's not afraid to stand up for Busisiwe. So sometimes I just shut down Busisiwe and I put Anazi on full blast. And I guess that's why in most cases I introduce myself as Anazi as opposed to Busisiwe, because Anazi has been my safe haven for the longest of time. And I'm grateful for my parents, and I love my parents. I wouldn't change them for anything. And may their soul rest in peace. And I know that what they did was out of love. It wasn't out of oppression or out of trying to limit me. If anything, they probably thought they were building a strong person. And, you know, in as much as there were these negative aspects from them, they also do have a lot of positives, you know. In as much as I could see how sometimes they did things that they wanted to do and how it made them feel. So I learned from their actions. And I think that's what Anazi did. You know, Anazi was the one who was learning how things were and, you know, seeing or observing, very observant of how people react to things that they like to do. And she was just like, okay, you know what? When we are Anazi, we do whatever we want to do because we know how it makes Busisiwe feels, you know? So I know that I'm not the only one that is going through this, and talking helps, you know? And I suck at communication. Because I was never allowed to communicate. But by the help of Anazi, I was able to. And also when you notice that there's something that is not right with you, when you're trying to fix it, be intentional about it, and it will manifest, you know. I've always prayed that I wanted to be a strong person. I've always prayed that I wanted to be confident. I've always prayed that I want to be who I am, and it has manifested because it was my consistent thoughts. I was consistently thinking about it, and I actually spoke it into existence. So if you are just stuck in a dark place because of what your strict parents did to your adult you, I know that they didn't really damage that adult person quite a lot or quite too much, or it's still fixable, you know. Read books to liberate yourself, and read psychological books, not just novels. Psychological books that will understand how a person is supposed to fully function and how a person is supposed to understand situations, and, you know, just to be a fully functional human being. Psychological books actually do that for you. And some of us don't really afford therapy, you know, in as much as we are cuckoos up in here, we don't afford therapy. So the best thing to do is actually go buy books and read them and put yourself through therapy, through reading. And that's what I basically do for myself. And I hope that this conversation that we were having was very insightful. And can you please leave comments down below and tell me what or which aspect of your life your parents damaged, your strict parents damaged, you understand? So I think somebody else might want to hear that. In as much as I'm sharing this with you, somebody else might be sitting at home wondering and asking themselves, how do I get over something like this? Or they don't understand why they're who they are. But when we talk about these things, they're able to understand that actually it was my parents that actually effed me up. Get what I mean? Yeah. At the end of the day, because like I said, I don't think your parents would intentionally want to destroy you, you know? So they do these things not understanding that they're actually damaging the old you, the adult you. But when you realize it, just as much as I've realized it, you're able to fix it and help the next person, in as much as we're talking about it like this. So I just hope that I've used this platform in a positive way for the next person, you know, because yeah, so I go through a lot, but in most cases I'm happy because I'm intentional about it. I'm intentional about my day, how it goes, and I know I'm responsible for how I react to any situation directed to me. So I've been happy, guys. And let's spread love and positivity and, you know, be nice to the next person. You know, just be nice. It won't take an arm and a leg to just be nice, because you don't know what the next person is going through. But I hope that this video was very helpful to somebody or anybody, or my family, you know, my YouTube family. And also thank you so much for the 888 subscribers that I have. Oh, 888, that sounds so cool to say, 888. So I'm really grateful, and I appreciate you guys so much. Let's take it to 1K subscribers before the end of the year. I love you guys.